John Carter stared out the frosted window of his grandfather's cabin. Snow fell gently on the Montana forest. The winter had come early this year, just like the last 3 years since the accident. He sipped his coffee and glanced at the clock. It was time for Lily's medicine. John walked to his sister's room, the floorboards creaking under his feet. Lily was asleep, her blonde hair spread across the pillow. The medical equipment around her bed hummed quietly. John looked at her legs. Under the blanket. They hadn't moved on their own since the crash that took her ability to walk and their parents' lives. "Hey, sleepyhead," John said softly. "Medicine time." Lily opened her blue eyes and smiled. "I was having a good dream for once. Yeah? What about?" John measured the correct dose of pain medication. "I was running through a field. Isn't that funny? I can't even remember what running feels like anymore." Her smile didn't fade, but her eyes grew sad. John squeezed her hand. "Don't talk like that. Dr. Wilson said there are new treatments every day. It's been 3 years, John. You gave up your engineering job at NASA. You moved us out to the middle of nowhere. You can't put your life on hold forever." John handed her the medicine and a glass of water. "You're my only family. Taking care of you is not putting my life on hold." After Lily took her medicine, John went to the kitchen to prepare dinner. The cabin was small but had been modified to fit Lily's wheelchair. John had installed ramps, widened doorways, and lowered countertops. Still, Lily rarely left her room these days. As night fell, John sat by the fireplace reading a book on aerospace engineering. He still kept up with the field even though his career had been put aside. A strange light in the sky caught his eye through the window. At first he thought it was a shooting star, but it moved too slowly and grew bigger. The light disappeared behind the tree line about a mile from the cabin. A dull thud echoed through the forest. John put down his book and grabbed his coat and flashlight. Whatever had fallen might be a satellite or space junk. His curiosity as an engineer wouldn't let him ignore it. "Lily, I'm going to check something out. I'll be back soon," he called. "Be careful," Lily replied from her room. "Take the radio." John grabbed the two-way radio and stepped outside. The cold air bit at his face as he trudged through the snow toward where he had seen the light disappear. His flashlight beam bounced off snow-covered trees as he made his way deeper into the forest. After 20 minutes of walking, John came to a small clearing. In the center sat a metallic object about the size of a small car. It wasn't crashed or damaged. It had landed perfectly. The object was smooth and oval-shaped with no visible seams or markings. It glowed faintly with a bluish light. "This isn't Russian or Chinese," John whispered to himself. His years at NASA had taught him to recognize various spacecraft designs. This matched nothing in human engineering. As John stood staring, a section of the object's surface rippled like water. A doorway formed where there had been none before. Light poured out from inside. John stepped back, his heart pounding. He should run, he thought, but his feet wouldn't move. A figure emerged from the doorway. It was tall, at least 7 feet, with a slender build. Its skin was pale blue with faint patterns that seemed to shift like clouds. It had 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head similar to a human, but the proportions were different. Its eyes were large and solid silver with no visible pupils. It wore what looked like flowing robes made of a material that shimmered in the moonlight. The being noticed John and tilted its head. John raised his hands to show he was unarmed. "Hello," John said, his voice shaking slightly. The being touched a small device on its wrist. A soft hum filled the air. "Greetings, human," it said in perfect English. "I am Lord Calyx of House Viridia, 3rd-tier noble of the Altherian Dominion." John blinked in surprise. "I'm John Carter." "John Carter," the alien repeated. "Your response to my presence is remarkably controlled. Most species experience greater distress during first contact." "I worked for NASA. We're trained to stay calm," John replied. Though his racing pulse told a different story, Lord Calyx stepped closer. He moved with grace that seemed impossible for his height. "My vessel experienced a technical failure during a diplomatic survey of your solar system. I need to make repairs before continuing my journey. Do you need help?" "I'm an engineer," John offered, his professional instincts overriding his fear. Your technology is insufficient, but I appreciate the gesture. It speaks well of your species. The alien looked around at the forest. Where is your settlement? I live alone with my sister in a cabin about a mile that way. John pointed. Lord Calix's head tilted again. You have a small social unit. Is this common for humans? Not really. My sister was in an accident. She's paralyzed. She can't walk. I take care of her. The alien's posture changed. Your sister suffers a physical impairment and you sacrifice social connection to provide care? This is a bond of great significance among my people. She's all the family I have left, John said simply. Lord Calix was quiet for a moment, then spoke. In the Altherian Dominion, care for kin is the highest social value. I would be honored to meet your sister, John hesitated. Bringing an alien. To meet Lily seemed crazy, but something about Lord Calix's formal manner made John trust him. My repairs will require 3 of your Earth days, the alien continued. Perhaps we can learn from each other during this time. John thought about Lily, alone in her room day after day, how her eyes had lost their spark of excitement. Meeting an actual alien might bring that spark back. Okay, John decided. You can come meet her, but if you do anything that seems threatening, I understand your protective instinct, Lord Calix interrupted. I offer my word as a noble of House Viridia that no harm will come to your sister or yourself. As they walked back through the snowy forest, John wondered if he was making a huge mistake. But for the first time in years he felt something new, hope. He didn't know why, but something told him that Lord Calix's arrival might change everything. The cabin lights glowed in the distance as they approached. John took a deep breath. Lily's going to be shocked, he said. Lord Calix's face made a movement that might have been a smile. In my experience, John Carter, it is often the unexpected encounters that lead to the greatest transformations. John stopped at their cabin door and turned to Lord Calix. Wait here a moment. I need to prepare my sister. This isn't something anyone expects to happen, the tall alien nodded. I understand. First contact protocols suggest gradual introduction. John went inside, his mind racing with how to explain the 7-foot blue alien waiting outside. He found Lily awake in her bed, reading a book. You were gone a while, she said without looking up. Did you find a crashed satellite or something? Not. Exactly. John sat on the edge of her bed. Lily, I need you to stay calm about what I'm going to tell you. She put her book down, suddenly alert. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. It's just ... I found a visitor, not from around here, not from Earth at all, actually. Lily stared at him. Are you saying... Yes, there's an alien outside. His name is Lord Calix. He's very polite and speaks perfect English through some kind of translator device. Lily's eyes widened. You're not joking. I'm not. His ship landed in the forest. He'll be here for 3 days making repairs. He wants to meet you. Lily looked down at her thin legs under the blanket, then at her messy hair and old pajamas. I look terrible. Help me change, at least. John smiled with relief. This was the most interest Lily had shown in anything for months. He helped her into a clean sweater and brushed her hair. Then he lifted her into her wheelchair. Ready? He asked. Lily took a deep breath and nodded. As ready as I'll ever be to meet an actual alien. John opened the front door. Lord Calix stood exactly where John had left him, snow gathering on his shoulders. The alien stepped forward when he saw Lily, making a graceful bowing motion. Lily Carter, I am honored to meet you. I am Lord Calix of House Viridia, 3rd-tier noble of the Altherian Dominion. Lily's mouth opened slightly, but no words came. Out, she stared at the tall blue figure, taking in his shifting skin patterns and silver eyes. It's okay, John said gently. He's friendly. Lily found her voice. Please come in, Lord Calix. It's cold outside. The alien had to duck to enter the cabin. Inside, he looked around with interest at the simple furniture and wooden walls. His eyes lingered on Lily's wheelchair and the medical equipment in her room. Your dwelling is efficient, he said, though not well adapted to my height. Lily laughed, a sound John hadn't heard in too long. Sorry about that. We don't usually have 7-foot guests. They sat in the living room. Lord Calix folded his. long limbs carefully onto the couch, which suddenly looked tiny beneath him. John explained your physical condition, the alien said to Lily. You cannot use your lower limbs due to nerve damage. Lily nodded. A car crash damaged my spinal cord. The doctor said I'll never walk again. Doctors? Lord Calyx tilted his head. Your healers cannot repair neural pathways? Our medicine. Isn't that advanced yet? John explained. Lord Calyx made a sound like gentle bells. Fascinating. Your species has achieved space travel but not basic neural regeneration. Can your people do that? Lily asked, leaning forward in her wheelchair. Fix spinal cords? Of course. It is simple cellular restructuring. Even our medical students master this procedure. John and Lily exchanged looks. Hope flashed across Lily's face before she controlled it. Enough about me, Lily said. Tell us about your world. Why are you visiting Earth? Lord Calyx spoke for hours about the Altherian Dominion, a vast network of worlds governed by noble houses. House Viridia specialized in diplomatic relations with emerging species. Earth had recently been classified as ready for careful contact. We observed for centuries before initiating communication, he explained. My mission was to gather current, cultural data and leave monitoring devices in your outer atmosphere. As the night grew late, Lily began to show signs of fatigue. John noticed and stood up. Lily needs her rest. I'll show you where you can stay, Lord Calyx rose gracefully. First, I wish to scan Lily's injury if she permits. I am curious about human neural structure. Lily nodded eagerly. Of course. The alien approached her wheelchair and removed a small device from his robes. It was flat and circular, glowing with soft blue light. He held it over Lily's legs and back. The device hummed and projected patterns in the air that only Lord Calyx seemed to understand. Interesting, he murmured. The damage is significant but follows standard patterns of trauma. Your body has attempted natural healing but lacks the cellular instructions to complete the process. He put the device away and looked at John. I must return to my vessel tonight? May I visit again tomorrow? Of course, John said. I'll walk you back. Unnecessary. I can find my way. Lord Calyx turned to Lily and made the same bowing gesture as before. Lily Carter, your spirit is strong, despite your physical limitations. This is respected among my people. After the alien left, Lily grabbed John's hand. Did that really just happen? Did we just have an alien in our living room? John nodded, still processing it himself. Yeah, we did. He seemed interested in my condition, Lily said thoughtfully. Don't get your hopes up, John cautioned. He was just being polite. Lord Calyx returned the next day carrying a small case made of a material that looked like mother of pearl. He set it on the table in front of Lily and John. I have consulted with my ship's medical database, he announced. In the Altherian Dominion, when we encounter beings who suffer needlessly, we are obligated by our ethical codes to offer assistance. He opened the case. Inside was a vial of glowing blue liquid and what looked like a medical injector. This contains specialized regenerative compounds and neural instruction sequences, Lord Calyx explained. It would begin the process of healing your spinal injury. John stood up quickly. Wait, you're offering to cure my sister? Not immediately. Full healing would require more extensive treatment on my vessel. This is merely the first stage, Lord Calyx turned to Lily. The choice is yours. Our ethics forbid medical intervention. Without consent, Lily stared at the glowing vial. Would it hurt? There would be sensations as nerves reactivate. Not pain as you understand it, but awareness, and it would really work? I could walk again, with the complete treatment protocol, yes. But I must explain something important. Lord Calyx's tone became more formal. In Altherian culture, healing is not simply a medical act. It is a diplomatic exchange, a creation of bonds between individuals and peoples. What does that mean exactly? John asked, suspicious. It means that if I heal Lily, she becomes a gift of House Viridia to humanity. In our traditions, this creates a lasting connection. It is our way of forming alliances. Lily looked at the vial, then at her useless legs. If it means I can walk again, I don't care what you call it. Lily, wait, John said. We need to think about this. But Lily had already made up her mind. I've been trapped in this chair for 3 years, John, if there's even a chance. Lord Calyx watched them, his silver eyes unreadable. Consider carefully. Once begun, the bond cannot be broken. The next morning, John paced around the cabin living room. It had been 12 hours since Lord Calyx had administered the glowing blue substance to Lily. His sister had fallen into a deep sleep. Almost immediately after the injection, the alien had assured him this was normal, but John couldn't help worrying. He checked on Lily again. Her skin looked different somehow, smoother, with a faint glow that hadn't been there before. Her breathing was steady and deep. When he touched her hand, it felt warmer than usual. A gentle knock on the door made John jump. Lord Calyx stood outside, snowflakes melting on his blue skin. "How is Lily's condition?" the alien asked as he entered. "Still sleeping? Is that normal?" "Yes, the neural reactivation requires deep rest state. The first phase takes approximately 16 Earth hours." John rubbed his tired eyes. "I didn't sleep at all. I kept checking on her." "Your concern is understandable, but I assure you the process is working correctly." Lord Calyx moved to Lily's bedroom doorway and looked in. "Her cellular response is excellent, better than anticipated." "What does that mean?" "It means she is highly compatible with our medical technology. This is rare among new species we encounter." John wasn't sure if that was good news. "You said this was just the first stage. What comes next?" Lord Calyx turned to face John. "The next stage must be conducted in my vessel. My medical chamber has the equipment needed to complete the neural regeneration." John frowned. "You want to take my sister to your spaceship?" "It is necessary for full recovery. The treatment would require her to remain in the medical chamber for 14 of your days? 2 weeks? That's a long time." "Time passes differently in the regeneration field. For Lily, it will seem like only a few days." Before John could respond, a sound came from Lily's room. A gasp, then a cry of surprise. John rushed in to find his sister sitting up in bed, her eyes wide. "John, I can feel my toes." Lily pulled back the blanket and stared at her feet. With visible effort, she wiggled her toes slightly. "Look," John watched in amazement. For 3 years, there had been no movement, no sensation below her waist. Now her toes were moving on command. "It's working," he whispered. "Not fully," Lord Calyx said from the doorway. "This is only the beginning of neural reactivation. Without the complete treatment, the progress will stop and eventually reverse." Lily looked up at the alien, her eyes shining with tears. "I'll do whatever it takes. If I need to go to your ship, I'll go." John sat on the bed beside her. "Lily, think about this. We don't really know him or what this treatment might do to you." "I know I just moved my toes for the first time in 3 years," Lily said firmly. "I know that's something no human doctor could do for me." Lord Calyx stepped into the room. "John Carter, your caution is wise. I propose a compromise. Come with us to my vessel. Observe the procedure. You may stay with Lily throughout the treatment." John considered this. He didn't want Lily to go alone, and he was curious to see alien technology up close. "Okay, when would we leave?" "Tonight. The neural activation will continue for several hours, giving Lily limited movement. We should begin the main treatment before the effect fades." That evening, John packed a small bag with clothes and essentials for both himself and Lily. Lord Calyx arrived as the sun was setting. He brought a floating platform that hovered a few feet off the ground. "This will transport Lily to my vessel," he explained. Lily had regained some feeling in her legs but couldn't walk yet. John helped her onto the platform, which adjusted to fit her body perfectly. It felt warm and somehow alive under her. They traveled through the dark forest, Lord Calyx leading the way. Lily's platform floated smoothly behind him, and John walked alongside his sister, holding her hand. "Are you scared?" he asked quietly. Lily shook her head. "No, for the first time in years I feel hopeful." The alien ship looked different at night, glowing with soft blue light that pulsed gently. A doorway appeared in its side as they approached. Inside, the walls curved smoothly, made of a material that seemed both metal and living tissue. The Air smelled clean and slightly sweet. Lord Calyx led them to a chamber in the center of the ship. A large pod-like structure dominated the room, filled with a clear gel-like substance. "This is the regeneration chamber," the alien explained. "Lily will be immersed in the bio-neural medium. It will complete the healing process at the cellular level." Lily looked at the strange pod. "I'll be in there for 2 weeks?" "Your body will be, your mind will experience a form of dreaming. The time will pass quickly for you." Lord Calyx touched a panel on the wall. "I must prepare you now." He handed Lily a simple garment that looked like a silver bodysuit. "This will monitor your vital functions and assist the regeneration process. You can change behind that screen." John helped Lily to the changing area. With her partial mobility, she could do most things herself now, but still needed some assistance. When she emerged wearing the silver suit, she looked different somehow, more confident. Standing straighter despite her still weak legs, Lord Calyx guided her to the pod. "You must sign the formal agreement before we begin." He presented a tablet-like device with strange symbols and English text. John read it carefully. It was called a Certificate of Gifting and stated that Lily was being gifted to humanity as a symbol of friendship between House Viridia and Earth. "What does this really mean?" John asked. "You're not taking ownership of my sister, are you?" "No, in our culture, a gift is someone who receives our highest healing arts. They become a living symbol of the bond between peoples." Lord Calyx's voice took on a formal tone. "The gift creates mutual obligation. My house is bound to protect the recipient, and the recipient's people are considered allies of the Dominion. Lily," signed without hesitation. John signed as her family representative. Still not entirely comfortable with the alien terminology, Lord Calyx helped Lily into the pod. The gel-like substance adjusted around her body. "You will sleep now," the alien said. "When you wake, your healing will be complete." The pod closed. Through its clear surface, John could see Lily's eyes close as the gel began to glow blue. "What? Now?" John asked. "Now we wait," Lord Calyx replied. "I have prepared quarters for you nearby. You can visit Lily any time. The ship will monitor her constantly." As John followed the alien through the curved corridors, he couldn't shake the feeling that something important had been left unsaid. Lord Calyx had been honest so far, but John sensed there was more to this gift than simple healing. He glanced back at the pod room where his sister floated in alien technology, surrounded by blue light. For better or worse, they had crossed a line there was no coming back from. The days on the alien ship passed strangely for John. There were no windows, so he couldn't see the sun or stars. The lights dimmed and brightened in a cycle that didn't quite match Earth days. He visited Lily's pod several times each day, watching her float peacefully in the glowing blue gel. Lord Calyx was often present, monitoring the equipment and making adjustments. Other Altherians occasionally appeared, tall blue figures who spoke in musical tones among themselves and bowed respectfully to John. "Who are they?" John asked on the 5th day. "My personal staff," Lord Calyx replied. "They are helping with Lily's treatment. There seem to be a lot of them for one patient. Your sister's case is special. Her response to our methods is exceptional." John frowned. "Special how?" "Her genetic structure is highly compatible with our biotechnology. This is rare and valuable." Lord Calyx's silver eyes studied John. "It suggests certain shared evolutionary pathways between our species." John wasn't sure what that meant, but he didn't like the way the alien and his staff gathered around Lily's pod, talking excitedly in their language. On the 10th day, John entered the pod room to find Lord Calyx placing his hand on the surface of Lily's pod. The gel inside had changed color slightly, with streaks of silver mixing with the blue. "What's happening?" John asked, alarmed. Lord Calyx turned. "The final phase has begun. Lily's neural pathways are fully restored. Now we are strengthening her muscular system and bone density. Is that normal? You didn't mention that before." "It is a gift beyond the original agreement. Her remarkable compatibility allows for enhanced healing." John stepped closer to the pod. Lily looked different. Her skin had a slight bluish tint, and her hair seemed to shimmer with silver highlights. She's changing, John said quietly. Oh. Healing involves change, Lord Calyx replied. Do not be concerned, these are temporary effects of the regeneration field. That night, John couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the changes in Lily's appearance and the intense interest the Altherians showed in her treatment. He decided to visit the pod room again. The corridors of the ship were dimly lit. As John approached the pod room, he heard voices. He slowed his steps and listened. The genetic integration is proceeding perfectly, my lord, a voice said in accented English. The human female is accepting the modifications without resistance. Excellent, came Lord Calyx's voice. House Viridia will be honored for generations for this achievement. The first successful cross-species enhancement. What of the brother? John Carter needs not know the full extent of our work. He sees only the healing of his sister. John's heart pounded. He backed away silently and returned to his quarters. Genetic integration? Cross-species enhancement? This was far more than healing Lily's spine. The next morning, John confronted Lord Calyx. What are you really doing to my sister? The alien's expression remained calm. I am healing her, as promised. You're changing her. I heard you talking about genetic integration. Lord Calyx was silent for a moment. You were not meant to hear that. Tell me the truth. What's happening to Lily? The alien gestured for John. To sit. The Altherian Dominion is dying, John Carter. Our population declines with each generation. Genetic stagnation has made us less fertile, less adaptable. What does that have to do with Lily? Your species is young, vibrant, genetically diverse. When I discovered Lily's remarkable compatibility with our biology, I saw an opportunity. Lord Calyx's voice took on a passionate tone. A genetic bridge between our peoples could save my race. John stood up angrily. You're experimenting on my sister without her consent. I am enhancing her healing while creating a connection between our species. The certificate of gifting you both signed permits. Biological exchange. Not in any way we understood. We thought you were just fixing her spine. And I am? But a gift in our culture is more than physical healing. It is a permanent bond. John moved toward the door. I'm taking Lily out of that pod right now. Lord, Calyx blocked his path. That would kill her. The process cannot be stopped halfway. John stared at the alien, feeling trapped and betrayed. When will it be finished? 4 more days. Then she will emerge fully healed, and more. For the next 4 days, John barely left the pod room. He watched Lily constantly, looking for signs of what she was becoming. The other Altherians kept their distance. Speaking only to Lord Calyx on the 14th day, the pod began to pulse with light. The gel drained away slowly, and the pod's surface retracted. Lily lay still for a moment, then her eyes opened. John? She called, her voice stronger than he remembered. I'm here. He rushed to her side. Lily sat up without assistance. She looked at her legs, then swung them over the edge of the pod. Slowly, carefully, she stood up. I can stand, she whispered. I can feel everything. John watched as she took one step, then another. Her movements were fluid and natural, as if she had never been paralyzed. She walked across the room and back, tears streaming down her face. It worked, John. It really worked. John hugged her tightly, relief mixing with worry. How do you feel? Amazing, strong, like I could run a marathon. Lily pulled back and looked at her arms. My skin looks different. Her skin had a subtle blue undertone, and when she moved, it seemed to shimmer faintly. Her blonde hair now had permanent silver streaks. Lord Calyx approached. The healing is complete. Lily Carter has received the gift of House Viridia. Lily bowed to the alien. Thank you. I don't know how to repay you. No repayment is necessary. The bond between us is payment enough. Lord Calyx presented another tablet device. This is the Treaty of Genetic Alliance. It formally recognizes what has been accomplished here. John took the tablet and read it. Most of it was in the alien language, but there were English sections that spoke of mutual biological exchange and shared evolutionary destiny. I don't understand all this, John said. It simply confirms that Lily has received our gift and that a connection now exists. between House Viridia and humanity. Lord Calix's silver eyes seemed to glow. It is a great honor. Lily signed without hesitation. John hesitated, but eventually signed as well. He couldn't deny that Lily had been healed beyond all expectations. The next day, Lord Calix returned them to their cabin. The alien ship rose silently into the sky and disappeared. Lily spent hours walking through the cabin, touching everything, going outside to feel the snow under her feet. John watched her with mixed emotions, joy at seeing her walk again, but concern about what other changes might have occurred. That night, Lily came to the living room where John was sitting by the fire. "There's something I need to tell you," she said. Her voice was steady, but her hands trembled slightly. "What is it?" "When I was in that pod, I had dreams. Lord Calix was there, explaining things to me." "What things?" Lily placed her hand on her stomach. "John, I'm pregnant." John stared at her in shock. "That's impossible. Not impossible." "Part of the gift?" Lily's eyes met his. "The baby isn't fully human. It's part Altherian." John tried to process this information. "Lord Calix, he said his people are dying out. They need new genetic material to survive." Lily's expression was calm, accepting. "My child will be the first of a new line. A bridge between our species." John stood up and paced the room. "He used you?" "Used us. This was their plan all along." "Maybe, but I can walk again, John, and I'm carrying a child I never thought I could." "Have." Lily watched her brother. "Are you angry?" John stopped pacing and looked at his sister. She was glowing, literally, her skin emitting a faint blue light. She looked healthy, strong, and somehow more than human. "I don't know what I am," he admitted. "I'm happy you're healed." "I'm worried about what comes next," Lily nodded. "Lord Calix said he would return when the baby is ready to be born. He said there would be others like me, other gifts across the world." "Others? How many?" "Enough to save his people." "And to change ours?" 3 months passed quickly. Lily's pregnancy progressed at an unusual rate. Her stomach grew rounder each week, much faster than a normal human pregnancy. The subtle blue glow of her skin became more noticeable, especially at night. Sometimes John would find her standing by the window in the darkness, her skin illuminating the room with soft blue light. Other changes appeared too. Lily could sense electrical fields. She knew when the power would go out before it happened. She could feel storms coming days in advance. And most strangely, she began to understand things that had always confused her before: complex mathematics, physics principles, engineering concepts that John had studied for years. "It's like my brain works differently now," she explained one evening. "I see patterns everywhere. Everything connects." They kept to themselves, avoiding trips to town. Lily's appearance would raise too many questions. They told no one about the pregnancy or the alien encounter. Who would believe them anyway? One morning in early spring, Lily woke John before dawn. "They're coming today," she said simply. "How do you know?" John asked, rubbing sleep from his eyes. "I can feel it. The baby knows too." She placed her hands on her large belly. "It's time." Sure enough, that afternoon a familiar light appeared in the sky. The alien ship landed in the same clearing as before. This time, however, it wasn't just Lord Calix who emerged. 5 other Altherians accompanied him. All wearing formal-looking robes with complex patterns, they approached the cabin in a procession. John and Lily waited on the porch. Lily wore a loose dress that covered her pregnant belly, but nothing could hide the blue glow of her skin or the silver streaks in her hair. Lord Calix stepped forward and bowed deeply. "Lily Carter, John Carter, I return as promised." "You brought friends," John said, eyeing the other aliens suspiciously. "These are the High Council of House Viridia," Lord Calix explained. "They have come to witness the birth of the first child of our new alliance." One of the aliens stepped forward. She was taller than the others, with more elaborate patterns on her blue skin. "I am Lady Zella, first-tier noble of House Viridia. We are honored by your contribution to our future." Lily bowed her head. "The baby will come soon. I can feel it." Lady Zella approached Lily and placed a 6-fingered hand on her belly. "Yes, the child is ready. We must prepare." The aliens brought equipment from their ship into the cabin. They transformed the living room into a strange combination of hospital room and ceremonial space. Crystal-like devices were placed around a central bed. Lights pulsed in patterns John couldn't understand. Is all this necessary? He asked Lord Calyx. Humans have been giving birth for thousands of years without alien technology. This is not a human birth, Lord Calyx reminded him. The child is the first of its kind. We must ensure its safe arrival. As twilight fell, Lily's labor began. Unlike human labor, it progressed quickly and with surprisingly little pain. Lily lay on the bed surrounded by the alien devices, her skin glowing brighter than ever. The Altherians moved around her, adjusting equipment and speaking in their musical language. John held his sister's hand throughout. Are you okay? He kept asking. Better than okay, Lily assured him. It doesn't hurt much. It feels ... right. Just before midnight, Lily gave one final push and the child entered the world. The room filled with a brilliant silver-blue light that seemed to come from both Lily and the baby. A daughter, Lady Zella announced, holding up the newborn. The baby didn't cry. She opened her eyes immediately, eyes that were human in shape but silver like the Altherians. Her skin had a subtle blue tint and seemed to shimmer in the light. Wisps of blonde hair with natural silver streaks covered her tiny head. Lady Zella placed the baby in Lily's arms. The first child of two worlds. Lily looked down at her daughter with wonder. She's beautiful. The baby looked back at her mother, with alert, intelligent eyes. John felt a strange sensation when the child turned those silver eyes toward him, as if she was already understanding who he was. What will you name her? Lord Calyx asked. Lily thought for a moment. Hope, her name. Is Hope, the aliens nodded in approval. Lady Zella stepped forward again. Now we must discuss what comes next. What do you mean? John asked. Lily and the child cannot stay isolated here. They need proper care and monitoring. And there are others like Lily now across your world. Others? John repeated. How many? 12, Lord Calyx said. 12 gifts were given to worthy humans with compatible genetics. All now carry children like Hope. John felt a chill. You've been busy. We seek survival, John Carter, as any species would. Lord Calyx's tone was unapologetic. But we offer fair exchange. Your sister walks again. Others have been healed of different conditions. And now humanity will step into a larger universe with Altherian allies. Lady Zella produced a new tablet device. This is the Covenant of Worlds. It formally establishes relations between Earth and the Altherian Dominion. John read through the document. It outlined a process for gradual contact between humans and Altherians, with the hybrid children serving as ambassadors between the species. You want to take Lily and Hope away, John realized. Not away, Lord Calyx corrected. To a prepared place where all the gifts and their children can live together. A community where they will be understood and properly cared for. Lily looked up from her baby. Where? An island in your Pacific Ocean. We have established a settlement there. Other gifts have already arrived with their families. I won't be separated from my sister, John said firmly. You are welcome to join us, Lady Zella said. In fact, we encourage it. The children will need connections to both their human and Altherian heritage. Lily touched John's arm. I want to go, John. I want to meet others like me, like Hope. We don't belong here anymore. John looked around the cabin that had been their prison and refuge for so many years. Now it seems small, confining. When would we leave? Tonight, if you are willing, Lord Calyx said. Or we can give you time to prepare. Lily shook her head. No need to wait. There's nothing holding us here. As dawn broke, John stood on the deck of the alien ship, watching Montana's mountains shrink below them. Beside him, Lily held baby Hope, both of them glowing softly in the dim light of the ship's corridor. Are you afraid? He asked his sister. Lily smiled. No, for the first time I feel like I'm going toward something, not just sitting still. She looked down at her daughter. Hope is the beginning of something new, John, not just for us, but for everyone. The ship accelerated, carrying them toward a future neither of them could have imagined when Lord Calyx first appeared in the snowy forest. John didn't know if the Althelians had planned everything from the start or if fate had simply taken an unexpected turn. Either way, his sister could walk again, and now she carried the future of two species in her arms, as Earth disappeared behind them. John realized some gifts came with unexpected consequences. But sometimes those consequences opened doors to worlds beyond imagination.